Okay, so till now we have talked a lot about the work queue, and we have covered things like tags, then how to assign that serial number column, how to uh, skip a row if it is throwing an exception, if it is throwing an error, then how to skip that particular row only. Mahesh, you were asking, right, like that key, how will skip a single row without stopping the total process. If some row is throwing the exception in the Excel sheet, how to just continue by avoiding that particular row which is throwing the exception. So that is something we have talked about. So basically, if it is throwing an exception, it will take your exception path, and if it is the line is executing fine, it will take the completed path. And anyway, even if it is an exception or completed, we are appending it to the collection, and this whole collection we are writing it back to the Excel sheet. So the ones who has exception, you will get an empty row in the result, whereas the ones who which is completed, you will get some converted value in the collection. So at the end of this process, this collection will have all the records. If someone is has an error, it will be empty, just that. Okay. And once we have executed all the rows in the work queue, we are writing it to the Excel sheet. And also we talked about the tags and text filter, how to use that. We also saw about reattempt. If some exception is happening, then how to attempt it once again and see if it is successful or not. So everything we have discussed all this. So I'm going to give you this particular process and object so that you can directly import it, and you can run it and to understand what is happening. Okay. One concept left which I wanted to discuss here, that is called priority. How to set a priority here. So for example, this Excel sheet that we have. So these are always executing on the basis of the serial number, the way they are being added to the queue. So 1, 2, 3, 4, this way they are always executing. So if it has a lot of records, and if we want to set some priority for that, then we can do that. So for example, what I want is, I want all the USD to be executed first, and then maybe AUD and EUR. Okay, so how will I do that? Because in the normal workflow, Blue Prism will not allow us to do that. It will just execute the way they are present in the work queue. So this we can achieve through by implementing something called priority. We can provide high priority to USD, and maybe a medium priority to AUD, and least priority to EUR, something like that. And this way the Blue Prism tool will pick up the the ones with high priority first, and then the rest of the priority later. Okay, so let's see where exactly this feature is there in Blue Prism, thus setting the priority. If you go to add to the queue page, so we have made add to the queue page for adding individual data to the queue one at a time. This we did for the assigning the tags. Okay, assigning individual tags to each of the cases. So if you go to add to queue, there's something called priority. Okay, and this is something we are going to see. And this priority can priority be applied to field which has unique value? Yes. So basically, you'll see that. So unique value, in the sense, unique value where? So basically, what we are going to do is, we are taking currency as a I would say field for identifying the priority. So we are going to use that. We are going to absolutely use this. So you can take any field for priority out of this. For example, if you want that which has a value of 15, you want priority 1, and obviously these values can again be unique. If you are saying that this USD is repeated here, this will work very well for a unique field. For example, like serial number. You want a serial number 4 as the priority one, so you can do that. Serial number is unique column. Okay. Let's see that maybe once we complete this, you'll be having a clear picture of what exactly we are talking about. Okay, so let's just hover over that priority, and it is telling that optionally the priority for the new items, lower the number represents higher the priority. So it starts with it has a default value of 0. 0 has the highest priority. After that 1, 2, 3. So when the number goes on, the priority decreases. So 1 has more priority than 2. It happens like that. Okay. So what we are going to do is, before this, we are going to talk about a concept called environmental variable. I'm not sure if I have discussed about environmental variable. I just realized that we need environmental variable for this. So let me talk about the environment variable. Then we'll come to this part. Okay. So let me just save it. Okay. So what is an environment variable and why do we need it? So we need to use a concept called environment variable here. Okay, so it can be done without that also, but it will be better with environment variable. So environment variable is something which is common to all the applications that can be controlled by the admin in the application. So for example, what happens is if you have an IP address or a file location, for example, if you are using a file. So let's take this example. Which file we are using? We are using this one on my desktop. In a real-time scenario, this file doesn't make sense. No one is going to come to your computer and switch on your computer to access this file from your desktop, right? It will most probably come from a remote desktop location or from a server where this file is hosted. Okay. So what happens when the location of the file change? You cannot come inside your application because this application may be very complex in a real-time example, and this file may be referred from 2, 3 places. So you cannot come everywhere and just change the hard-coded file name. These are hard-coded file name, right? So the way we are going to solve this problem is by implementing the environment variable. So what we'll do is, for example, if we can set a global variable, it's like a global variable, and that global variable is, for example, have something called file underscore name, which contains a FTP file location, for example, 12 point. Okay, like this. And what we are doing is, this part is a global variable set somewhere else, and we are using this file name inside our project. So we can continue to use the file name at 4, 5, or 100 different places. They will all still refer to this particular Excel sheet. So in future, for example, this file location changes. What we'll do is that we'll simply go to the global variable that we have set, and we'll change the location of the FTP. For example, 12.14.15.16 file 2.xls now it is referring to. So automatically file name will start taking the data from here. We do not need to come to the project and change again everywhere that it is referring to file 2. We are going to make it dynamic, so we are going to set something in the global variable so that they can start picking up data. And again, if there are a few of the stuffs, for example, there is something called IP address, okay, and that is let's say is not known to the developers, but that is only known to the person in the control room. If there is someone in the control room who is running the process, because remember, all the processes are run from the control room only, right? So if for example, if you do not have access to control room, and the control room person, let's say, does not understand much of the Blue Prism, because Blue Prism developer have a separate job to do, and if someone is there to run and monitor the job only, they are for admin purposes only. So if they do not understand what is happening inside the process, they cannot go and check where exactly the IP address is used in the program. Okay. So what you need to do is that you need to set a global variable called IP address, and you need to dynamically read from here. So anyone can come, the person who are in charge, and they can change the IP address as a global variable, and your program should automatically start picking that one. Okay, so let's see how we can facilitate such a concept using something called environment variable. So this will be achieved using environment variable, and this is something that is present everywhere. Like if you go to your Windows machine also, right click properties, advanced system setting, and then environment variable. So here also in your Windows also environment variable is there. Okay, so what we do in environment variable is that we set all the necessary like paths here. For example, the Java path, I have shown Java underscore home. Now anywhere inside my computer, this total computer, I can use this keyword Java underscore home and it will refer to this one. So now if I'm using it at 10 different places, I didn't, and that needs to be, Java needs to be changed to version 10, tomorrow. So what I will do is that I will just browse this variable to, JDK 10 in my C drive, and it will start taking all the, Java 10 in all the places that I am using. Otherwise, I would have, gone to different places and change it to Java 10, right? So this is the advantage of environment variable. So let's see in Blue Prism where exactly we set the environment variable. You have to go to the System tab, and wherever you are using the environment variable, wherever you are planning to use either in the process or object, we have something called environment variable here and something called here. Okay. So so for example, see this path, that file path, I have set it here. So let's set the file path. So what I'm doing is that I'm taking this file path, whole file path here, and let's set this in environment variable. So for example, I'm changing this file path. I remove the double quotes here, and we are going to use this file path inside our application now. Okay, instead of this hard-coded one, click apply here, and go back to your process. So sometimes what happens is because these are tab level feature, so when you make change in one tab, it may not directly reflect in another tab. So if it is required, just close and reopen the application, and it should work fine. Okay, and now here, instead of this, we are going to use that. So to use a file path, we must take the help of I would say, a data item. Otherwise, it will not work. So I'm going to drag and drop a data item, and the name of the data item is, for example, file path. And exposure is environment. We are going to select the exposure as environment. So we have not talked about this one. There are a few of the stops in exposure, and first one is static environment and session. This is going to be an important question in your certification exam. So what are the different types of exposure and what are the roles of those exposure? So the rules, it is clearly mentioned what are the rules. The statistics exposure, this stores the contents of this data item in the database for reporting purposes. So if you are selecting this as statistics, obviously you cannot store it anywhere. You cannot choose from that drop down because this is not environment, this is just statistics purpose. And whenever you do this, this value is going to be stored in one of the tables in the database. Which database? The MS SQL database that we have configured before. So what exactly you will do when it gets stored? You can use that for reporting purpose. So whenever you are automating a lot of the processes and all, like a lot of the data goes for auditing purpose, and we can also manually we can automate a lot of the data so that they get in a stored in a particular table, and at the end of the day we can use them for reporting purpose. Reporting in terms of, it may be Excel sheet or some other reporting, but we need to use that. So if reporting is something that you want, you can just select the statistics purpose. Just remember that this will be used for reporting purpose, the statistics exposure. So there are three types of exposure: statistics, environment, and session. Environment is something we are going to talk now. So for example, the file path that we have configured. So let's select the file path. And once you select that, you can see automatically the value comes from the environment variable, whatever we have set. Okay. And the current value is this one, which is non-editable. And click OK here. And double click here, remove this. And instead of that, start using the file path. Okay. So now from this time onwards, it will start picking up that file path dynamically. Let's just launch this application just to check if we are getting all the data in the currency collection from the same file or not. Right. So I'm going to delete this queue so that okay, let it be otherwise. So guys, this is the queue, add to queue. This is something we were using before we used a page for add to queue. We implemented this page when we talked about tags and tags filter. So when I am going to give you this process, you can just remove this page and you can use this initially, and later on you can use this page only. So I'm leaving it here. So this is the reason there is one error here, that there is no link to this particular one. Okay. Anyway, let's run this with a breakpoint here. Okay, so the currency collection is getting a lot of the records. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so there are again 2 records are empty because of that few this is we faced yesterday, right? So this is due to that. Otherwise, it is getting all the data. So this is working fine. Okay, so this is the way the environment variable works, and we are going to use this environment variable for the priority that we are going to implement, right? And let's talk about another feature, another exposure type, which is session. Session exposure. This what it will do is it will expose the data item to the control room. So what happens is when you are setting something as exposure, what will happen is when you are running the process, when the process runs, in between the process you can change few data. Let me check if we have something here. Add to queue, convert to INR. Just 1 minute. Okay, so for example, so this is what we are doing in the convert to INR page, right? We were entering the amount from value and to value, and to value we were taking as INR. So let me do one thing. Instead of hard coding the INR here, let me take a data item for this. And let's assign INR here. This is a text. Okay, INR. And then let's remove this to value. Okay. So for example, that Excel sheet that we are running is 100 records long or something. So let's just increase the okay, and let's say this value INR. What will happen is, because we are setting this INR, whenever we are running this process, there are it will run 8 times in the loop. This loop is going to run 8 times because we have now 8 records in the Excel sheet, right? So what happens is, when the process is running, and for example it is at the 4th record, I want to change the to currency to maybe something else, maybe to I want to convert it all of them to EUR. What will happen? It will not change. You cannot change something in between when the process is running. If you have set this value to INR, and when this process is running, if I am running the process, and during that I came here and I changed this INR to EUR, and click OK. And when I am doing this, for example, my Blue Prism is executing the 3rd row. Okay, and when I completed clicking OK here, it doesn't mean that when the Blue Prism takes the fourth row, this one USD, it will start picking the updated value EUR. No, it is still going to pick up the INR value, because whatever value you have like configured initially, that value will always be picked up by Blue Prism. So session variable helps in solving this problem. Session variable, what it does, it helps in dynamically injecting a value in the runtime. So whenever the process is running and you want to change something when it is running, then once it is changed, it will start picking up the updated value from the work queue. So this is something also you can do. Let me check if I can able to do it here. I'm not pretty much sure about that. Wait. Let's see if we can configure a session variable. So I'm making this as a session. Expose the data item to the control room. Okay, and then let me just increase this count, because the thing is that the control room runs really fast, so you won't have time to change INR to something else. It will just complete it by itself. So we just need some time for it to be picking up data. So I'm just going to show you how it happens. Let's see. Okay, so let's close this. So what I have done is I have configured this as INR initially, and session is the exposure is the session type, and we are going to publish. Oh, see, it's already published here, so that should be fine. Let's save this and close this web process 911. Right. Let's go to the control room, and the one we are going to run is web process 911. Okay, and okay, let's see if we can change it to THB, for example. Okay, THB. So I'm going to drag and drop and run this one. It's too busy to run the process. Okay. Okay. So whenever it says too busy to run the process, then just see if you have some pending process like this, and okay. Now let's try to. Okay, I'm running the same one. It's in pending state. Let's try to run this and click on this one here, show session variable. Okay, on the right side, show session variable. As you can see here, it is showing something called to value. Okay, it is showing all the variable here, and one of them is to value, and it is executing to INR. Right? You see, it is executing everything to INR here, and we are going to change this. Let's try to. Oh God, it's hanged. Okay, let's try to change this session variable when it is executing. So I'll just show you. It's a little hanged here because of this multiple. See, this Internet Explorer has contained this few of the data. Anyway, I can choose to run it again. Let me just show you, how you can edit the environment variable. So once you have implemented an environment variable, for example, it is executing here, and once you select show session variable, it will show all the session variables that are part of this particular process. And from there, you can go to the variable that you have set as session, right click on that, and edit value. And for example, it is currently INR and I want to change into THB, and I can click modify. It will start picking up the THB data. Now my Internet Explorer is hanged. Otherwise, I could have shown you, or else we can run it again. And once you enter THB here, and if you modify it, it will start picking up the new data. Okay, see here the value is THB now, and on the the two currency that you are seeing here, you'll get you'll start accepting the THB data. Okay, any doubts here how you can receive the dynamic value at the runtime using the session variable? Let me know if you have any doubt. You are clear about that, right? How to set a session variables. So basically, we are configuring the session variable here. So whichever variable you want as session variable, you make them as a session variable. Session expose the data item to the control room, and after that publish that process to the control room and start running the process from wherever you want. Start running the process, and once you start the selection, I'm going to start the selection. It's in running state. Okay, it is start it has start picking up the INR value for each of the items. So you can again go and select show session variable, and you can just come here, right click, edit value, and THB, and you can click modify. Okay, and this value should be modified to THB here, right? So if you go here, you see it started picking up the THB from here. Previously, what was it? It was INR, but now it is THB for each of the record, right? So this is the, again, if it is for, again, if you want to change something, you can again come back and change. Okay, it's got completed. So normally in the control room, the process runs really fast, so it is in completed state. If it is still in running state, and if you want to change the THB back to INR for few of the rows, you can go ahead and do that. Okay, so you completely understand, right, how it happens. Start it, go to show session variable, and it will start showing in this panel. Right click, edit value. Now it is disabled because we don't have anything, and just edit the session variable, and it will start picking up the data. Okay, I hope it is clear to everyone how these things works. Okay. So
Hello.
yeah.
Prem, but when we're changing the value in the control room, we are not sure on what row the process is going on.
No, that is something we cannot control here unless and until you are writing some. It is producing some echo. Let me answer that. Please go on mute. Yeah. Okay. So I'm not sure. It is not opening due to some reason. Maybe if I'm running in the control room and it is still in the locked state. So let me just close my Blue Prism tool and I'll reopen. So sometimes it happens when you are doing the control room and all. My Internet Explorer gets hanged sometime, and sometimes the process won't open when you switch between control room and this one. Control room is the one which uses a lot of resources. Okay, so about that, how we can control, if it is a if you want to start from a specific row, the thing is that normally you don't have control over that. You don't have control over which row is picking up. The thing is, you can always go ahead and monitor that. You can always go ahead and check that, okay, Internet Explorer, it is picking up the second row, third row, and now I want to change. But it may happen that you may miss something, because in control room everything works very fast, right? Otherwise, if it is really necessary for you, you can do some validation here. Okay, so what we are doing is, I'm not sure if you have seen the this one, the currency, the queue. How it happens is, all the data to the queue gets added like this. Okay, so see here, initially we executed till 12 records, like, so it happened like 1 2 3 4 till 12 it executes. So if you want to have control like this, then you may want to do some validation. For example, if the item key equal to 8, then only do this, or if serial number equal to 8, then only do this, or some kind of validation you need to put if you are exactly trying to do that. So for example, in the currency collection, let me just run it once. Okay, so in the currency collection, you have all this row, right? 1 till 11. Okay, 12 is like adding 3 times because of that issue we talked in that. So in Excel sheet, what happens, guys, is whenever you are adding something, a new few extra lines of row, or few empty row, or deleting something in Blue Prism, what happens, normally that rows are also considered as like Excel sheet row. So just be careful about that. So for example, if you are trying to run it from the 8th row, for example, the new value, so if you want, you can take some validation. You can take some validation like currency dot serial number equal to 8, and the whatever currency that you are setting, like INR. So if it is still INR, do not execute, and wait, something like that. You can do. But clearly speaking, you do not have much control over the, I would say, the session variable. But if it is really required, you can put some sort of validation, like you can use a decision stage somewhere, and just to check that that INR, the two value equal to TSB. If it is changed to TSB, and then yes, then do something. If it is no, then do something else. Okay, so you can definitely go ahead and do that if it is required. You got the point? Okay, so let's implement the priority feature, and we are going to use the environment variable for that. So what Okay, so what we are going to do is that we are going to set 3 environment variable. That is not necessary. You can obviously set 3 environment variable here as well. So what I'm going to do is that 3 environment variable called medium, low, and high, I'm going to set 3. That is something I'm going to do it in the as an environment variable, so that someone can come directly there and change it, and it will start reflecting in the process, right? So let's go to the environment variable again, and here I have already set it. Okay, high, low, and medium. What I'm just checking, I'm taking 3 value: USD, AED, EUR. Let's open the one minute. Just give me a minute. Okay. Okay, so what we are going to do next is because it is taking some repetitive data again, because of that, I moved something to sheet 2 yesterday. I'm going to do the same thing. Otherwise, it will take some. I don't want to take the wrong data. So what was happening, guys, is if some like empty data was there here, if I delete this, then Blue Prism was still taking few of the empty rows, considering this row still exists. Okay. Obviously, you can take a condition that if amount equal to empty, do not add that to the work queue, but I'm not going to spend time in those validation. Instead of that, I'm going to create a new sheet here, and we're going to work on this. Okay, 4 rows, and we have EUR, USD, AUD, EUR, USD, and AUD, right? So what I'm going to do is that the USD one will set as high priority, AUD low, and the EUR is medium. I'll just show you how to set priority so that you can understand this feature as well. So let me make this as sheet 1, and we'll start using this. So now that this is set, this priority is set, we are going to use these environment variable in our work queue. Okay, just 1 minute. Let me just ping someone. Okay. So once we are setting all the priority here, what we are going to do is that we are going to that add to queue that we have configured, which is this one. And this page, we are going to assign multiple priority based on the currency. So you remember this one we have done only to configure the tag. So here what we are doing, guys, is we are taking off all the rows from the currency collection, which is getting populated from the Excel sheet. After that, we are taking a multi-calculation stage where we are copying one at a time to a single row collection. This SR collection, it is a single row collection. We are copying data one at a time. It can contain one row only at a time. It is a single row collection. And then we are adding that row to the queue. Which queue? June queue. This is we are using. We are adding all the data to the queue. And as a tag, we are using the currency field from the single row collection as a tag, so that it will be able to add individual tag. Otherwise, it will add the same tag for everyone. Just go through the yesterday video so that you will be able to understand why we did this. Okay, so here only we are going to implement the that priority feature for the Blue Prism one. So what I will do is that I will check. Initially I will take a choice stage. Okay, and in the choice stage I will check the currency, and based on that I will assign a priority to that. Right. So first let's do one thing. We're going to do that. First, let me take 3 data items. So I double clicked on this for multiple. 1, 2, 3. And this is high priority, exposure is environment, and select it as high. Okay, so it is high priority, which contains a value of USD. Oh, as I said, you can definitely take data items only. There is no need to take environment variable for this. I'm just using it. Medium, and then sorry, low. Okay, 3 three priority we got: high, medium, and low, each containing a separate set of data. Okay, high is USD. You can put multiple data also here with a comma. So we are considering all the currency, which has USD value as high priority. Then we have already covered like AED, EU, or something like that. Okay. So what I am going to do is that I am going to check if the if that particular row contains USD or not. If it contains USD, then what I would do is that I would assign them as a high priority. Okay. So why we are doing this? This contains things, because we can directly also set it. No need to set the contains and all. But the thing is that it may contain like multiple. It may contain multiple data also. Okay. So what I am saying is that so in this one, for example, let's add one more row. And I am that Britain pound I am adding here GBP. Okay, and what I am telling is that in my system tab, in my environment variable, I'm putting high priority as this one, and what I want is my low priority as AUD and GBP both. Okay, let's do this. Okay, so USD is high priority. However, my low priority is both AUD and GBP, and medium priority is UR. So how can we do multiple here? Let's see. So here you will also something called as the string function. Okay, so let's do that. Maybe it will be a little confusing for you now, but let's complete that, and maybe it will make sense, all of this whatever we are doing. Okay. So what I will do is that I will take a choice stage. Okay, I'll take a choice stage, and in this choice stage, what I'm going to decide from here if it is a low priority, medium priority, or high priority. Okay, so it is low priority, for example, then medium priority, and then high priority. Okay, we have three. And when do we want it as low priority? We need to search it in the low priority data item. Okay, if this currency, if serial number collection dot currency is present inside this data item, inside this low data item, which has two value, it has not yet reflected. So basically it has both AED and GBP. Okay, then we'll be assigning them as a low priority. So let me generate the formula for that. So go to text function in string. In string, what we are doing is that, so what does in string do? In string example MP such as if MP is there inside example. Okay, so something like that, we are going to do it here. We are going to search if serial number dot currency is present inside the low data item. So for example, low contains AED and GBP two value, and if serial number collection is AED, then we are checking if AED is present out of this two value. Yes. If GBP is present out inside this, yes, it is present. Okay, like that it will compare. Okay, and so if this is greater than 0, it is low priority. Does it make sense what I am doing it here? Why we are taking this in string, and this is medium, and this is high. Why we did this is because because that all the data that we have set in the environment variable, they contain multiple value. Okay, they contain multiple value. That is the reason we are doing this. And what we'll do is that the main reason to use the choice stage is because the add to queue contains something called, priority. Okay, so at one time we can enter only one priority, like 1 or 2 or 3, like that. At a single priority we can enter at a single point of time when we are adding to the queue. But what we want here is that if the value is USD or something, we want a priority of 1. If it is AED or UR, we want a priority of 2. If it is something else, we want a priority of 3. But how can we assign something like dynamic, priority when we have only one, field called priority? We cannot assign 1, 2, 3, everything here, right? So that is the reason I have taken a choice state. If it is falls under low priority, I'll be assigning it as 2. If it is medium priority, I'll assign it as 1. And if it is high priority, I'll put the 0 as the high priority, or I'll leave it as blank, because blank is also like it is like 0 only, right? So let me do that. So what I would do is I'll just copy paste this one. Okay. It doesn't look good, but that's fine. No, sorry. Okay, so what we are going to do is that if it is low priority, I have created multiple like add to queue stages for that. So they do the same thing. Only thing is that if it is low priority, we'll go ahead and assign a value of 2 here maybe. And if it is maybe medium priority, we'll go ahead and assign 1 or something like that. This is the only reason we are using the choice stage, because we'll be able to use multiple priority to these stuffs. Okay, that is the only reason, nothing else. So let's say if it is low priority, I'm assigning it a value of 2. If it is medium priority, I'm assigning it a value of 1. If it is high priority, I can either assign it as 0 or leave it as blank. Why? Because it says that the default is 0, lower the numbers represent higher priority. So if you are leaving it at blank, it is high priority. So blank means 0 only. So you can leave it as blank, high priority. And otherwise, let's put this as a low priority only, 2. Okay. You understand why we have implemented the choice stage here? Only to facilitate multiple add to queue stage and this priority based on that. Okay. So here we'll get to know which priority it is, and based on that, for each of these currency in the loop, it will assign a like priority to each of that. Any doubts here, guys? Anything that you are facing issue to understand this, or I guess you need some time to go over through everything to understand the complete flow. Okay, so I'm going to run this. So let's empty the queue, otherwise it will be. Okay, now this queue is empty. June queue we are using, and I'm going to run this process. Okay, run it. Let's also close this one. Remember, whichever page you are from, if you start running it, it will always start from the main page. Okay, main page is the starting point of your application. So first one is medium priority did, then high priority because that is USD, I guess. Okay, it added 5 items to the queue, and now it is going to process all the 5 items. Okay, so we can do one thing. Let's pause it a little bit. I could have, oh god, I should have actually put a breakpoint. The pause is not a good idea. So let's go back to the queue just to see how it is reflecting. So I'm going to the June queue, and as you can see here, this one here, the item key is 1. Okay, EUR has a item key of 1, but it did not choose the 1. It took the value of item key 2 here. Why? Because it has a priority of 0. And you can see here, everything with a USD tag has a priority of 0. EUR has a priority of 1, and we have set GBP and AUD as least priority, which is 2. And this is the order they are going to execute. So now 0 got completed. You see this is in completed status because Blue Prism picked up the first one with the 0 and it added here. And one more question you can ask here: if 2 are 0, which will be picked up by Blue Prism? Because these 2 are 0 and Blue Prism cannot differentiate between which one to pick. Just remember that if 2 priority are same, Blue Prism will take the one that is added first. So out of these 2, let's go to the created column. As you can see here, it is created at 10/9/19. However, it is created at 10/9/27. This is the reason Blue Prism has picked up the first one first, 10/9/19, with a priority of 0. And however, though this also has a priority of 0 with a tag USD, it will pick up it will pick up a second because it is added a little fraction of seconds after that. Understood the priority concept, how you can set priority and how you can trigger the execution based on the priority. So this is I know that this is technical. A lot of this is the most technical part that we are discussing like currently, but this is important because this is mostly about your performance and setting priority and all, filtering by tags. This is something that we had not seen before. So this is important, and obviously it's a little difficult and tricky compared to other parts of the Blue Prism module. So any questions guys here? Anything, you can let me know. You are fine with this? Okay then. So this is how the priority works. Okay. So whatever you set as priority, that will be picked up by Blue Prism and it will be executed. Okay. So and again, I cannot run this one without deleting that queue. Anyway, I'm not going to use that queue, so let it be. So guys, just remember, if you have some pending data in the queue, this is like this. The 4 are in pending status. You should right click, mark those as exception with some reason, and then delete it. Otherwise, it will start executing the pending from previous run also. Okay, whatever is there in the queue, June queue, it will start executing no matter when you have executed. So that is all about the work queue part. You can definitely go ahead and download a document only related to the work queue, and also it is there in the like that PDF that I have sent you, right? The work queue is there. But if you want more of that, then you can go ahead to the portal and download that. I am going to download and put that into that folder from my side. But if you want, you can also do the same. Case management. This is called work queue and case management. So each of the line that were present in the work queue, those are called one case. So this is the name is also called case management, and you have everything here. Okay, so just go ahead and if you want go through this, and if you want a detailed data, you can also, there is a special PDF only for work queue. It's a long PDF, but I won't recommend you to go through that because that will consume a lot of time. That has a huge amount of data. I'm going to put that in the Google Drive in case if you have some free time later, you can go through that. And also in the Blue Prism portal, the portal.blueprism.com, which I was telling all of you to register. There also you will get a lot of questions from WorkQ, sample questions, and those are very good questions. And you should attempt those questions only after getting clear about the complete concept of WorkQ. Otherwise, those questions will seem very hard for you. Okay, so go through the video that today's and yesterday's video, and if you want, you can go through that PDF, and after that, you can just go through that sample questions. Okay, you can log in here and you can check that. So that's it about the WorkQ. We can go ahead to the next topic if you are clear about the WorkQ and if you do not have something to discuss. So I'm going to provide you this process and object so that you can import and start executing that. Okay, you're fine, right? So we'll go to the next concept. Okay. So from now, there are few of the here and there stuffs left. Okay, so we are going to talk all about that. You can let me know if I have missed something. But what I think what we have left is a Java automation, then mainframe application automation. And guys who are going for the the first level of certification AD01, these things are not necessary. These are part of the professional developer certification, I guess. And in your AD01, there is just one mention of this, so you can just see how it is happening. So I can cover that. Where is that? Blue Prism. Okay. So see this one here. This is just one line. Okay, this is the mainframe application, and it's over. Okay, this is Java application, and it's over. Okay, match index, match reverse. So I would say you can just go through this a little bit, but this is half of the pages also. But I'm going to show you a demo of everything so that you can understand. I'm going to obviously cover this, but do not spend much time on this because it is there in the PDF. It makes sense to go through this because you may face one or two questions, but most probably these are part of the professional developer certification, which is the next level of certification. Okay, but since it is there, since there is a mention of this application, we are going to see this in case you come with some real-time scenario. Okay, so the stuff that are left is Java mainframe, and then we are going to see the region more, how it works. We'll work with the image and stuff, and the code stage. We'll look into a code stage and we'll see how to write programming inside Blue Prism, and what else is left. And I'll see, what maybe there is something called login agent. So I'll, talk about what is a login agent. And after that, there must be something that we have missed. So I'll check if, anything else is there that we have missed. Okay. Otherwise, we are good for this one. And again, that I'm just inviting someone else. So he is going to cover about the surface automation. Yeah, Gitika, I was, So surface automation is something that I'm not going to, talk about because I don't have any project for this to show you guys. So he has a, what I heard, he has a real-time project for surface automation only. So it will be more knowledgeable in that sense. So we'll cover surface automation there, and Obviously the certification discussion will do, like, we'll go through all the, this is something I can do also. What is this? Okay, this one I can do or he can do, anything is fine, certification discussion. And that's it. I guess there will be few of the stuffs I might have missed. I'll just go through each of the module, and we can
Prem, what about optical character recognition, OCR?
So OCR is a very big this one itself. So OCR will be including OCR in when we discuss about the region mode, right? That time I will show you how to read value from images. So if there is a text inside image, how to read that image, I'll just show you a demo of that. Okay. But if you want to, OCR, what I, saw, there was a document for OCR only. Okay. And okay, one of the question is that, just remember that Blue Prism uses, this is a very famous question. Which technology Blue Prism uses for OCR? And the answer is Google Tesseract. Okay. Tesseract, I guess the spelling is like this. So this is the used by Blue Prism for OCR. Internally, it is used Google Tesseract. So this is one of the interview questions, and also I'm not sure if it is a certification question or not. Okay. So we are going to see OCR while discussing region mode, but I can send you a document which has a lot of data regarding OCR. But for this, whatever demo that we are going to see, we are going to read data from like images. So OCR means reading data from images. Okay, that is OCR. So we are going to see a demo of that. Anyway, so let's see the Java automation part. Let me tell you the how to do a Java automation. And it is not about how to do a Java and mainframe automation. This is mostly, this is exactly same as whatever we are doing, no difference at all. So this is the reason we are not going to see, much examples of this. Okay. Because same stuff, same stages, same way to perform everything exactly same. Only thing is that you may face some difficulty, during configuration. So let me, set up an environment for Java application automation so that you can understand how, those are done. So the first thing is that, again, guys, I would not encourage you to go ahead and configure these things in your laptop right now, because as you see also in this document, there is just a mention of that, not even one page for that. So just know whatever I am, just understand whatever I am explaining, and that should be enough. And if you are, for example, going for an interview, and that time you can just practice one and two steps, because if someone asks you, have you worked in Java application automation, you can tell the process. Okay. So we'll see about what are the requirements, but right now, there is no need to follow whatever I am doing. Okay, because that is going to take some time for you if it is not installed. Okay. So for Java automation, the first thing. Okay.
From Supriya here.
Yeah, Supriya, tell me.
Yeah, before going that, can you explain what is it OCR? You're talking about some image, something, just for 2 lines or
Okay.
something like that. I
Sure.
didn't get
So,
that.
for example, let's go to Amazon Prime or something, or to Flipkart. Let me check if we have something OCR featuring. There is no need. We can search it here. Sorry. So this one, for example, okay, 12 inspirational designs of adding text over email. How do you get this text? Is there a way to get this text out of image? Because this is an image, within itself. This is a whole image, right? So how do you get the text out of this image? How do you, crop this? Are we going to crop everything, and we are going to get the image out of this text? And how shall we go about doing this? So this is called OCR. Okay, you can read about the definition here. And it is not only about image. It can also, you can check the handwritten notes or something. Optical character recognition is the mechanical or electronic conversion of images of typed, handwritten, or printed text into machine encoded text. Okay, you got the point. So text will be there on the image, or if someone has written by hand on a paper or something, or it is printed somewhere. How can we convert those text into normal text? Okay, a text, how can we read that text and put in a notepad? That is the concept of OCR, optical character recognition. Okay, we're going to do this. We're going to see example of this. Okay, don't worry. This is just the definition, getting the text out of image. So if someone is asking what is the OCR and why it is used for, this will be your answer. Like optical character recognition is the mechanism to convert the text on top of the image to normal text, so that we can use those text for any of our further processing. Okay, and what are the different tools that are used for OCR? You can say Google Tesseract is the tool, and inside Blue Prism does OCR very effectively, and Blue Prism internally uses OCR. Again, the questions comes for accuracy. There is no tool on in the whole world that does 100% OCR accuracy. If you see, the best tool in the market is the Google Tesseract. This is by Google, and if you search the accuracy, it will not be 100%. So most probably you will get accuracy like 70% and 80% like that. If it is a normal image, that is absolutely fine. But if images are like captured, so if the text is like this MUM, Blue Prism will fail to read this, because this does not look like text only. Okay, these are called CAPTCHA codes. You have also may have entered. So this one here, Blue Prism will fail to identify this text over this image, or this one here, Blue Prism will fail to, because these are not like the standard. This one, these are not the standards, or this one. See here, but there are some background color over there and something like that. So a lot of the cases Blue Prism fails, because none of this technology is 100% accurate. So it's not about Blue Prism. If you go to Automation Anywhere OCR or any other tool there exists, they will also provide you the same amount of accuracy. Okay, we're going to see an example of this. So we'll see how to do this. Okay, so okay, fine. And let's see, how to configure the Java part. So for the first thing that you need for Java automation is you need to install the the JRE. Okay, you need to install the JRE. JRE is your Java runtime environment. So you can go ahead and install JRE. You can download from the official website of Oracle. So go ahead and download JRE Java runtime from here. Okay, based on whatever 64-bit Windows or 32-bit. I guess most of you have 64-bit. So download it from here and install that. Okay, so this is the part I was telling you. You can choose to do it later, because this is not necessary for you to do all this configuration now. So there are two steps, guys. One is JRE and one is called JDK. JDK is called Java Development Kit. Okay, so we use JDK for development. So if you are developing any Java application by yourself, you need JDK. And when you install JDK, JDK contains JRE within itself. So if you install JDK, JRE will also be installed within that. So either you can go ahead and install JRE, download and install JRE, or you can choose to install JDK also. It will also install JRE for you. Okay, once it is installed, so for example, for me it is installed here. See, there are two folders, JDK and JRE. You need only JRE. It is installed here. Okay. Once it is installed, it completes the first step of this one, Java automation. Without this, it will not work. If you are not providing a Java runtime environment, the Java applications won't work only. Okay. And the second thing that you need is something called Java Access Bridge. Java Access Bridge, and this also you need to download. Okay, you can download it again from the Oracle website, Java Access Bridge, and download Java Access Bridge 2.0.2. So make sure that you download this version because Blue Prism creates some problem for other version. So I'm going to send you a PDF only for Java and mainframe automation separately. It is also available in the portal. You can go through that. But anyway, we are just going to see how it happens. Okay. And as I said, second one is the Java Access Bridge. So let's try to download this because I'm going to show you something. Okay, now what you need to do is that you need to take all of this after downloading Java Access Bridge. The first step is what? Install JRE in your machine. Second step is download Java Access Bridge and then extract that, open and copy everything. You need to copy everything here. Okay, and you need to go to C drive, program files, and then Blue Prism Limited, Blue Prism Automate, and you need to paste it here. Okay, you need to paste in this folder, otherwise your Java application automation won't work. Okay, so see, for example, I have pasted everything, Access Bridge, jar, and all of this stuff. So these are coming from there only. Okay, so paste it here in the Blue Prism folder only, and Blue Prism will be able to automate your like Java application. One more thing is that how to check if Java Access Bridge is already enabled for you. You have to go to Ease of Access, search for Ease of Access Center. Okay, there is something called Ease of Access inside Control Panel. It is available under Control Panel or Control Panel Ease of Access. Here, use the computer without a display. Okay, and there is something called Enable Java Access Bridge. You have to click this. Okay, you have to, if it is unchecked, I guess it will be unchecked for most of you. Just click this and click OK. Okay, you understand the path here. Search for each of access and then use the computer without a display. Click this, and then at the end there will be something called Enable Java Access Bridge. Okay, this is the path. Anyway, you can just do the same whatever I am doing if you are going through the video. And once you are done with this, then you are done with the configuration part of the okay. Okay, you are done with the configuration part of your this Java, and now we are going to like automate a Java application. So what I will do is that, so guys, the number of Java applications that are running in the market are very less. Okay, Java as a standalone application. Okay, the Java as a backend technology, there are billion of devices that are running Java as a backend. I'm not talking about that. Java as a standalone application. So previously, these were getting used. Okay, so if you go to that Vodafone store, right? If you go to Vodafone store or Domino's or something, there will be this tokens, right, that it will be coming 1 to 82, 183, your serial number, and it will be displayed in a board, right, in a TV screen, like this number is currently being served and this one. Those kinds of application are normally written in Java, and that different technology that is used inside Java. One is called Swing, and then there is something called Applet. Okay, so these are not being used nowadays. Swing and applets and all, these are not being used nowadays. These are like Java like technology, and if you use this, you'll get application like this. Okay, these are the kind of application that normally gets created. Okay, applet view or something like this. Okay, the advantage of this is that this Java application you can run in your desktop. Okay, so this will act as a desktop application. So these are the kind of application that is used. Okay, and again, if you go to your different shopping mall or something, they will be creating bills for you, right? So that billing counter, they will be using a software. So previously those softwares were also being written using Swings and applet. But nowadays these kinds of applications are really very rare. No one is using this for as a desktop application. But since we have a scope for this, let's go ahead and discuss this. We're not sure where we'll get a chance to work on this, right? So what I have done is I have downloaded a Java application, which is this one, notepad.jar. Just remember that all the Java application files, it must be entering with a .jar extension. It's called Java archive, I guess. Java archive file. Okay, these are called Java archive files. Okay, and all the standalone Java application, they must have a extension of .jar file, and only then we can take the help of Java mode to automate that. And most probably they will be having this Java logo. This coffee is the Java logo, and we can automate this. So what it does, it's nothing. It's very simple, just a notepad. Double click, it's a notepad written in Java. What happened? Okay, it's a notepad written in Java, and you can start writing something here. Okay, so we'll do very simple stuff. We are going to open up this like notepad, and then what we're going to do is we're going to focus on the main screen here. See, I'm typing something, nothing is getting typed. Why? Because it is not focused. So we're going to click here and then type. Okay, that's it. We're going to do this. Let's see how to do that. So I'm going to create a new process. No, I need an object for this. So I'm going to create a new object called Java App Automation, and then double click, go to Application Modeler, select Next, select the type as Java based application, go to Next. My application is launched from an executable file. Yes, I want to do this. Go to Next. It is telling enter the path to the application's jar file or use the browse button. So I'm going to browse to the same jar file, notepad.jar, on the desktop. Click Next. Everything else I'm going to leave it as blank because I don't need it. Now what I'm going to do is that I'm going to launch it. Okay, it got launched, and only one element I need, which is this element only. That is the only element I needed. Okay, identify. As you can see, there's a new mode here on the top left corner. There is something called Java mode. Okay, so this is the only difference. Okay, so it will launch in Java mode. So this is another mode also you can consider. So for all Java application, you must be using the Java mode. So which area I need to write all my data to? This total area. So there are multiple options here. You can choose to take anything. I want this area to write some data. So control left click. Everything else is absolutely same, guys. It is there is no difference at all. The way to identify, the way to get the attributes. Only thing is that the initial configuration that we made. Control and left click. I got all my elements. Okay, and I'm going to remove the empty ones because these are not adding any value to the set of attributes, right? And let's highlight this, and it is highlighting fine. So it means that I'll be able to enter data into this. So that is the only one. So let's zoom into, let's say, I don't know, writing area or display, something like that. Okay, so this is the one. Okay, and click apply and then OK here. Then close this. And let's create the workflow for that. So everything else is same. Okay, we already have seen all this, how to do that. First thing is we are going to navigate. So click here, double click this one, launch. So name it as launch Java app. The second one would be to so the thing is that after launching it, we need to highlight this area, right? Okay, so we are going to highlight this area, this particular area, by clicking it here. Okay, I guess Sakshi was facing some issue in connecting. Yeah. Okay, anyway, so we are going to highlight this one. How to highlight? There is, we're just going to click it here. So a single click on the display area, that's it. So let's do that. So I'm going to use navigate here and then use the display area, and let's see what are the options there. Focus maybe. No, global mouse click center. Let's click one on top of that once. Okay, we are going to click once. That's it. Global mouse click center, because if we click once, that is fine, right? If we click once, it is getting highlighted. So let's do global mouse click center. Let's say this one. Click on notepad area where we are going to write, right? We're going to do a single click there, and then we are going to write some code. Not code, we are going to write something. Okay, so there are two ways to write. Either we can use a write stage. Okay, how else can we write onto this part? Can anybody say how else can write stage? Obvious choice. We are going to write something. How else can we write it here? Which stage we can use apart from write stage to write something here? So if you want to write something, you can also send a send key. Do you remember we have discussed about global send key and send key in the Skyscanner application? So you can also use that. You can take this and use something called global send key, and from here you can send keys to the application, like whatever you want to write, A, B, C, D, whatever. Okay, this is the way also you can write something, write to the notepad. Okay, obviously you can use the write stage. This is, every one of you know this one. Okay, let's run this. And see what is happening. Okay, the thing is that it is we need a wait stage. The thing is, it is launching very fast, and it is trying to click, but it has not launched yet that time. So it is maybe taking 1 or 2 seconds. So let's put a wait stage here. Right, so let's wait for maybe 2 seconds after launching. Oh, it's already there, sorry. Let me close this. Okay, you got the point here. So it is started, launched the application, waited for 2 minutes for it to be launched, completely, and then clicked on the notepad area. So it clicked it like this, single click, and right to the notepad. So we're using a send key in the notepad here. Okay, understood? Any doubts here? Anything that you want to discuss, guys, or you are clear about that? It seems people are facing some issue here. I'm not sure why. From which side this is? I guess my internet is fine. So, any doubts in the Java automation? Arun and then Mahesh, Gitika, you're clear about what happens in Java automation? I'm not sure if yeah, it's very simple. Only thing is that the configuration part. Okay. So yeah, that's it about the Java automation. I'm going to provide you all this. What else we can discuss? Yeah, okay. We can talk about the mainframe automation. I'm not sure if we'll be having some time. Okay, so let me just mainframe. Let me check if I have something for mainframe. Okay, otherwise it should be fine. Let's continue in the next class. We can surely continue because a lot of the people are facing some issue also. So if let's not start that. That is also very basic. It will take 15 minutes of time. Only thing is the configuration, nothing else. So I'm going to show you IBM personal communication. Here we are going to show you a sample mainframe. Okay, so we are going to see we're going to set up a mainframe session here, and obviously, guys, mainframe are really costly. So one mainframe will cost you like lakhs of rupees. So no one has a mainframe, so we are going to see a mainframe simulator. I would say emulator, mainframe emulator, and we're going to do some practice on top of that. And so that you can understand if you actually work in a real-time mainframe environment, how things work, just you can understand that. So that's it. Let's continue, from the next class. What you guys want probably is that you need to go through the exception handling and environment variable once again, because those are the most important ones. And based on your responses, I was just having a feel that you didn't understand those concepts completely. Okay, so just go through that. If you have any questions or something while going through the video, just ping in that WhatsApp group, and we'll discuss that. Okay, and we'll continue from the next Saturday. And any doubts here, guys? Anything you want to discuss?
So Prem, do you also do advanced training or only this basic training?
Advanced training in Blue Prism, you are telling?
Yes.
So see, so we have been covering few of the stuff. So for example, this Java mainframe, and then that surface automation, the Citrix automation that we are going to discuss. Those are part of the advanced training only. Okay, those are part of the advanced certification. So there is no need to go for any advanced training for Blue Prism. We most probably cover most of the stuff, and if there is anything that is left for the advanced, then I'll see within this 5 days, and we'll cover that as well. So in this training we are going to cover the advanced as well. So only thing is that we will not see a lot of example, because we are not going to see a lot of example of mainframe or the Citrix automation and a lot of OCR and all that. We are going to touch the basic, but I'm going to provide you all the resources, and the way to do it I'll let you know. But we have already discussed how to do it. right? How to use the stages, how to you connect everything. It is the same one. Only thing is that you need to, set up the foundation of configuration and everything. Otherwise, we are going to cover everything. And when we talk about the certification, I'll also talk about the advanced certification, and you will see that we have, we are covering a lot of stuff from there also. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's it, guys. If you do not want to discuss something else, then we can stop here. I will upload the. I have already downloaded. I could not upload that to YouTube, so I'll put that to YouTube now, and I'll send you all the links along with the processes that we have been working upon, so that you can import those as well. Okay. Okay then. Thanks everyone. Enjoy your rest of the weekend. Bye.